Hello and welcome to my masterclass on how to earn thousands more dollars every month, all from doing your own PR. I am so excited to share some of these strategies with you. For years I've been working as a PR consultant, and people are happy to pay thousands of dollars for me to write their press releases, push them out to the media, and get them publicity. But I'm here to tell you that you don't need to do that. If you use some of these strategies that I'm going to show you over the next 30 minutes, you will learn how easy it is to generate your own PR. Now, before we start, all I need you to do is switch off all your devices. So try and remove any distractions that are going to take you away from learning as much as you can during this masterclass. And also, I encourage you to have an open mind. So come along with a free mind, none of this mentality where you think, oh, I already know that, or that's nothing new, because I am going to teach you something new. And I'm really, really excited for you to see whether you're starting out in your business, perhaps you've been around for many years and you want to scale, or perhaps you're changing careers. These strategies you can take away and use right away. So let's get started. Do you want to know how to scale your business and generate thousands of dollars in media coverage? Well, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide so you can grow your business by doing your own public relations. You'll learn how to rapidly gain credibility and visibility without paid advertising. You also don't need qualifications. I've got a couple of degrees, but never do the media ever mention that when I do some guest posting or I'm featured in the media. You don't need a university degree to use these strategies and become the go-to guy or girl in the media. So if you can use some of these strategies, you will learn how to gain credibility and authority in your industry. You're going to get more customers, more leads, more money, and opportunities will open up. At the end of the day, people are going to be able to find you more easily if you are featured in the media. Basically, what you're going to learn today, I'm so excited about this. You're going to learn how to write press releases, what you should and should not do when it comes to writing an effective press release. I'm going to teach you how to pitch to the media, and I'm also going to show you how to guest post and just the power that guest posting, whether you are featured on Huffington Post, Entrepreneur, Forbes, just how you can leverage that to scale your business and just how powerful and effective it is. A little bit about me. I've been working for the last 20 years in media as a journalist in radio and TV. I'm also in the Australian Air Force Reserves as a public affairs officer, and I spent 6 months in Afghanistan teaching people how to master their message on camera. And I spent 6 months there and trained people from all over the world. I've also worked as a local politician where I live in Australia, and I've been a political candidate for state and federal elections. And since 2013, I have run my own PR agency where I have pushed out thousands of press releases for my clients and scored them hundreds of thousands of dollars in free publicity. So, I'm going to show you how to do that today for yourself. My clients, myself, my students have appeared in all these different organizations around the world, and they've been able to leverage that coverage to promote their business. These are the strategies that I use. For example, here's an example of me guest posting in my local newspaper. You can see down the bottom, it says Jamie Abbott is the owner of Jamie Abbott Communications, a public speaking training company. That is so effective in gaining visibility. I've got so many clients by guest posting and writing articles. Sometimes people will even pay you to be a guest poster. So there's so many opportunities out there. I want you to imagine yourself 12 months from now, seeing your name and your business published in the media, waking up to hundreds, even thousands of new leads for free. Now, one way you can do that is through press releases. And we're going to talk about that now. Basically, press releases or media releases, as they're commonly known these days, because they are aimed at more than just press. We're aiming at an online media, which has really just taken over in the media space these days. They give you free publicity. They're amazing for search engine optimization, which is SEO, which means when someone goes onto Google and types in your industry, so they might be looking for a lawyer, an accountant, a life coach, someone who is into meditation, whatever your industry is, if you have got your press releases out there and they're featured in the media, it's an amazing flow-on effect. They're then featured in the media. You put your press releases up on your website. It's increasing your visibility when people search for your type of category or your industry on Google. So they're really, really powerful. And of course, that what they're destined to do is grab the attention of media. But you need to remember that journalists receive hundreds of press releases every day. So we need to grab their attention with a hook. Something that's going to draw them in so they don't hit delete when they read the opening headline or the first paragraph or even your email pitch to them. So how do we do that? How do we hook them in? Through these news values. And there are 8 of these, and it's kind of a checklist which journalists use to determine whether a story is going to be newsworthy or not. And so your task is to think, okay, how many of these, if any, how many, 1 or 2 or as many as I can, news values can I put into my press release? Is there a bit of conflict involved? So am I going against what the government is saying? Does my story have an impact on people's lives? Is there a novelty factor, a human interest factor? Does this affect people in my local area and I'm targeting my local newspaper? Is someone prominent involved, maybe a celebrity or a well-known figure? How relevant and timely is this? Is there something going on in the world at the moment which you might be able to jump on and put out a press release to perhaps offer an alternative angle to that topic? So these are the things you want to start thinking about. And these are the techniques that I use for all of my clients' press releases. Here's an example of one I wrote in 2021. And this press release actually scored lots of media coverage nationally around Australia instantly. And I got my client featured in newspapers, online, TV, radio, podcasts, all around Australia. And one other factor, which I actually would love to share with you, is the 5 W's and the H. Now, you want to make sure you put these 5 elements plus the H into all of your press releases. If you leave out any of these, your journalist is going to be wanting answers to more questions. Your reader or your listener or the audience member wants to know that as well. So when you're putting together your press release, you want to make sure you talk about who's involved or who is this affecting, what is it, when is it happening, where is it happening, why is it happening, and how is it happening. And this is actually the foundation for my training when I'm teaching someone how to do public speaking on stage as well, or they're crafting their speech and their messages. You want to make sure all of these factors are covered. Another great tip is an ST word. So if a word ends in the letters ST, you want to try and put that into your story because journalists love it. The media generally loves it. Your audience loves it. So is this the first time this has happened? Is it the last time, the biggest, the grandest, the fastest? Start thinking, have I got an ST word that I can put into my press release? And you want to put that in the opening headline or first paragraph if you can, because that's what's going to hook the journalist and our audience in. Another great tip, you don't want to do press releases that are longer than 1 page. Now, when it comes to your headline, it needs to be brilliant. So think of a hook. Sometimes you might want to write it at the end, once you've punched out your story and, all those creative juices have been flowing and you think, okay, that's what my headline's going to be. So if you can't think of it right away, that's totally fine. We'll put it in at the end. Now, our first paragraph, this is your most important paragraph. Try to keep it to just 30 words because anything more than that is going to be waffle. And that's also why I say keep your press releases to just one page, because unless under extreme circumstances, you only need one page to get straight to your message, your who, what, when, where, why, and how, a couple of your ST words, a couple of those news values. Feels like there's so much to remember here. And you want to punch it all out into one page to just get straight to the point. Here's an example of that press release to show you how I use all these techniques. So that's my headline: $8.7 million Newcastle property sale breaks new record. Here's my opening paragraph, no more than 30 words, got a couple of ST words in there, one of Australia's grandest homes, and has become the highest selling residential property ever in Newcastle. This was a really effective press release. I use these techniques and you can too. And here it is, a one pager. You also want to write in third person. So when you throw in a couple of quotes, so you've got your headline, a couple of ST words, who, what, when, where, why, and how is all covered in this press release. And I've quoted my client in third person, so said Mr. Cantwell. So rather than first person, probably only need, 3-4 quotes, and put all the information in, but really your headline and your opening paragraph are the most important parts of any press release. I've also got templates available for my press releases as well, which can help you so you're not starting from scratch. The other strategy I want to talk about today is guest posting. This is so effective with getting your name out there. You might not realize, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of organizations around the world that have an online platform that are crying out for content. And that's where you come into it. You've got a story to tell. There's content in your head, and there are opportunities for you to share that content with the world. Here are some examples. I've used this guest posting technique, and I've written for, this is the Newcastle Herald, where I live in my local area in Australia. Sometimes people will even pay you to contribute, but in this case, I submitted my own articles. It was every month, I think, for a while there, for a couple of years. I got so many clients from this guest post, and I would talk about topics that were relevant to me. Your local newspaper is always looking for contributors, but let's think bigger. Let's think, Forbes, Huffington Post, Entrepreneur. If you Google, guest posters wanted, there are so many out there. So, don't discount how powerful this is. And of course, once you do get featured, you then can share that all over your social media platforms. People will be able to find you more easily as well. So now you need to think, what info do I have to share with the world? Have a think. And I've got some templates as well where you can get some blog or headline ideas, but just start to think, here's some examples I just punched out, in 5 minutes. Here's what no one tells you about real estate. The next big thing in accounting in 2022. There's a couple other examples there. If you're a lawyer, why the government needs to change our legal system, 10 ways meditation can improve your career, and 7 things you didn't know about the Australian disability sector. So many opportunities there for headlines and topics that you could write an article on. So start thinking about that. And the more you share your knowledge, the more you become an expert in your field. I'm going to show you an example of how someone has used that effectively. This is my financial planner, actually, and this is an example of someone being quoted in the media, how burnout can impact your finances and how to keep it happening. Here is my financial planner. She was quoted, financial planner Adele Martin, and that makes her a credible source in her industry. And I kept seeing her appearing in media. She was guest posting in all different publications, Australian Financial Review, which is a massive newspaper in the financial industry. She was quoted in there. And I thought, wow, this girl must know her stuff. This lady must know her stuff. And I ended up becoming a client of hers because I figured she knew, and she does, so much about her industry, but it's because of this exposure where she kept putting herself out there and being a contributor and being quoted in the media. that I was able to see her. I've used this strategy, as I said at the start. This is a guest post I did for an organization. And down the bottom, it says, Jamie Abbott is the owner of Jamie Abbott Communications, a public speaking training company. So once again, I get a plug, my business gets a plug. People can easily look me up. And I got so many clients from that. You get email subscribers. I've got one-on-one clients. This is what you can do too. Website, blog traffic, social media followers, sales, leads, cold leads, warm leads, cold leads are turned into warm leads. Really, really powerful. And it's free. I'm going to tell you a little secret now. You don't have to be good at writing. What you need to do is write as if you're talking to a friend. Anyone can do this. You don't need to be an expert at writing or even an expert in your field. You have a story to tell, and there are platforms out there waiting for you to share that content. Here's what you don't need. Lots of time. It's very, very quick. And if you get featured in one of these online platforms, they can then syndicate that, and you might start appearing in more and more websites and media forms. You also don't need qualifications. So don't sit there and think I'm not qualified. Anyone can do this. Honestly, I can take you and show you step by step how to do it, but go out there from today, from this masterclass, start pitching your story. And I'm going to show you in a moment how to do that, exactly how to pitch step by step. But just start thinking about the content that you have to share and try putting it out there. How to find them, as I said, you go to Google and type in guest posters wanted or writers wanted, submissions welcome. There are so many out there. There's Mamma Mia, Huffington Post. These are large ones. Entrepreneur and Forbes. Have a look at some, on LinkedIn. Your competitors might be sharing some featured things that they do as well. But Google, there are hundreds, if not thousands, worldwide. Even Australia has them as well. So type in guest posters wanted Australia, and you will find hundreds out there. I'm now going to share with you how to pitch your story to the media. So you might have a great idea. You might have an amazing press release using those strategies I showed you, but it's all now coming down to how you pitch your story to a journalist. What you want to do first is identify that angle that's going to generate the most buzz with your audience. Remember those news values again, start thinking, what am I going to focus on that's going to be a hook for my story? You want to personalize your email pitch. And another great tip, or something I've noticed over the years, journalists want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from a PR agent. I've got those great relationships that I've built up for years with journalists, but nothing beats a story coming from you direct. And you really want to personalize that. So journalists will love to hear from you, but we need to get their attention because they're receiving hundreds of email pitches every day. I'm now going to show you how to pitch to the media. Part 1, establish your authority. And here is exactly word for word how you do that. Hello, whoever the journalist is. My name is Jamie Abbott. I'm a writer with over 20 years of experience writing about public relations topics online. My work has been featured in the Sydney Morning Herald, The Australian, and That's Life magazine. I've also written for major financial companies like Westpac and Macquarie Bank. This would be if I was pitching to, say, a financial online publication. Part 2 is your portfolio. So you might say, below you'll find some samples of my work. You can also learn more about me and my work on my website, and then maybe put a couple of links to some work you've had. If this is the first time you're doing this and you haven't had anything published yet, totally fine. Maybe link to your LinkedIn profile. You don't even need a website. So don't let anything get in your way of making this happen for yourself, because it's so easy, it's so powerful, and it's free. So part 3, talk about your ideas. So what's in it for them? So you might say, I was on your site and I noticed that you write about X, Y, and Z. I'd like to write some pieces on, and then find an angle maybe they don't have yet. Now, another great way, this is your pitch, but you might already have your submission prepared. You might have your 500, 700 words, whatever their submission guidelines are. And most websites will have that. They'll say, And you also want to make sure that it's original. So you haven't already had it published somewhere else, because they want fresh content. So you might say attached, I've got, a piece that I've written on this angle, and it's there ready for them. Part 4 is your sign off. Really easy. Thank you for considering me. I look forward to hearing from you. And then your signature. How easy is that? Now, I actually go into more depth in my Public Relations Pro course. I've got 6 step-by-step modules where I cover everything in detail. You get templates, so you don't have to do this from scratch. And I show you how to pitch your story. I've got pitch templates. I show you how to write your press release, and you get about 10 press release templates for all different categories as well. I show you how you can jump on media opportunities, and I am going to show you in a moment a huge secret on how to do that easily. Write your bio, LinkedIn marketing, blog writing, and then we finish off with public speaking and media training. This is it. 6 weeks live coaching with me. We start off with your PR strategy. We then do a media release workshop, perfect your pitch and bio, attention getting, blog writing. And blog writing is so powerful, not only for search engine optimization, but just to share on my website. I get so many customers from my blogs that I share consistently as part of my content strategy. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. High impact LinkedIn marketing, and we finish off with media training and public speaking training, so you can become the media's go-to guy or girl in your industry. I'm also going to throw in all these bonuses. Look at this. You get a pitch template, public relations template, you get elevator pitch templates, and we go into detail on how you can do that. You get cheat sheets, you get a workbook. There's so many things there, including a list of 50 potential awards that you can enter for your business, which is amazing for your exposure around Australia if you become a finalist or even a winner. I'm going to even give you a LinkedIn profile template. It's all there. So many bonuses included as part of my Public Relations Pro course. And you get 6 live coaching calls with me. Every week, we do 1 hour where we go through step by step, everything you need to know to do your own public relations in easy detail. And if you can't make the 1 hour call, the 1 hour coaching session, it's recorded and it's put back up into our private Facebook group. So you have lifetime access to all these bonuses, all the content, the lessons, and the Facebook group. So you can ask, every day you're trying to go through this PR strategy, you can ask your questions, and you've got your peers there. I'm there. It's constant support for lifetime access to that. And I'm going to now give you a bit of an industry secret. And if you take one thing away from this masterclass, let it be this. Some of you may have heard of it. It's called SourceBottle. This is a website where all journalists put all their pitches or their call outs, as we call it. They might be looking for a lawyer, an accountant, someone who works in the aged care sector. Here's an example of what it looks like. And so you sign up. This is free, by the way, completely free. Twice a day during weekdays, you get this email where all the journalists' call outs are on there, and every day they differ. Honestly, they're just so many different situations that journalists are looking for, and we call it talent. And that's you. You're the talent, and they are looking for you to appear. And it might be anything from the TV news that night to a major national newspaper to an online blog. There are so many opportunities. And once you sign up, you will see just how many there are, because it comes twice a day into your inbox. And then what you do, you might see something which suits you. So you might be an employment lawyer, and you can jump on this opportunity and think, that's me. And this is an example of one. And so all you do is put your name, your email, and any comments, as to why you'd be great talent for this journalist. And then it goes direct to the journalist's inbox. So the SourceBottle owners don't see it. No one else sees it. And the journalist has your email. I have got so much publicity over the years through using SourceBottle. I've had major newspapers do stories on me. And I remember once they were doing a story about, are you addicted to your mobile phone? And I jumped on that and said, yes, I am. And of course, they gave my business a plug and said, she owns her own PR agency. I literally got thousands of dollars in new business from that article. And that wasn't even looking for a PR agent. They were just looking for an average person who's addicted to their mobile phone. And I thought, great, free publicity. You can do this too. It doesn't cost anything. And the next thing, you're going viral. Your business gets a plug. It's really, really powerful strategy. PR agencies have grown 30% in the last 5 years. And I've taken advantage of that as a PR agent, but you do not need a PR agent. You can use these strategies yourself and roll with them. After today's masterclass, go and have a go. Have a go at putting your press release together. I've got templates there as well that you can download for a small fee if you want, but you can just go and put your who, what, when, where, why, and how, throw some ST words in there, pitch your story to the media, and have a go at some guest posting. Think about why you're here, why you've come along today. I'd love to see you in my Public Relations Pro course. It's guaranteed. If you don't think that you're getting results in the first 2 weeks, which is 30% of the course, fully refundable. My students, my clients are getting amazing results. I teach you step by step how to pitch your story, how to do the press releases. I've got templates there where you just fill in the gaps. And I also give you media contacts. You can go out and pitch your story direct to. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on a PR agency. You can do your own public relations yourself, and you can scale your business and get a lot more money in your pocket. Thanks for coming along today to my masterclass, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye.